Hello, and welcome back to What We Pod in the Shadows, where we are discussing the sixth and final season of What We Do in the Shadows. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
Today we are discussing the episode March Madness.
It's episode 7 of season 6. We will be giving spoilers.
Yes, spoilers abound.
So the show opens with Laszlo realizing he put the monster's intestines in the wrong way. And that's why he can't digest corn. Except now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of people, the corn just comes out whole.
Yes, so many jokes about the corn just looking like corn still.
And the monster is like, no, please don't cut me apart to fix it. They hear crazy noises coming from Sean's house, and they kind of like just harass getting over there.
Yeah.
And he's flailing around and punching pillows and kind of screaming unintelligibly. So Laszlo deduces Sean has been possessed by a demon. His wife Charmaine says she is leaving until March Madness is over. Guillermo wants an office identity. So, like, I don't know, the funny guy or the loud laugher or whatever. He's worried he doesn't have one. Colin tries to help him find one. Nadja is the office funny person because she keeps using a banana as a telephone and making banana jokes, an annoying coworker, Lisa. The guide comes to help them summon a demon because they need a bigger demon to expel the one inside Sean. And I was just thinking that seems like a really bad idea because, like, how do they control this bigger demon?
Very much so.
But for some reason, he kind of does what they say.
Pretty chill for a demon.
So the guide conjures a red demon played by John Glazer, and he asks what season and month it is and questions them about college basketball once he finds out it's March. I don't know why I said a red demon because they said earlier that demons are they're always red and they may or may not have horns. The vampires have no idea what he's talking about. Colin follows Guillermo to work to see in person what might be a good office identity. He's going to pretend to be from HR. The demon starts watching basketball with Sean, but Laszlo pushes him to scare the demon out. He makes a creepy noise, and Sean thinks Charmaine made it. He tries again louder, but no demon comes out of Sean. So Laszlo says he can go back to the underworld. And then it's like the demon says he's like getting a transmission in from Sports Center that Gonzaga is going to lose. And Sean freaks out because he bet on Gonzaga and falls to the ground. He asks them to call 911 as they contemplate putting him out of his misery.
Nadja very unfunnily says she needs help from the suicide hotline into her banana phone. Colin says Guillermo could learn a lot about having an office identity from her. No one else in the office thinks Nadja is funny anymore, it doesn't seem like. They're very much over her banana jokes, and also they just didn't think that was very funny. Colin says Guillermo should be the office repressed hothead because he'd only have to blow up every few weeks and spend the rest of the time apologizing for his last blow up. Colin decides to encourage this by coming in during a meeting with Guillermo's team and taking his lunch order. Seeing what Colin is trying to do for him, Guillermo acts like a jerk and then Colin punches him. Jordan calls security on Colin. At the hospital, Laszlo apologizes to Sean. The demon is still watching sports. Nandor says maybe it's time to let Colin die. The doctor comes in and says Sean didn't have a heart attack, just a minor heart incident, but his blood pressure is very high and he needs to diet and exercise. Laszlo vows to get him back on track. The demon finally leaves by pulling off his horns and exploding all over the hallway, and it's just like his feet are just left. Colin says getting punched in the office could be a cool identity for Guillermo, but Guillermo tells him to cool it. Colin said he thought Guillermo was going to hit him because of the look in his eyes, and that's why he punched Guillermo. Guillermo tries to help Colin out of trouble by saying that this was just a minor mental health incident, but Colin starts absolutely wailing on Guillermo. Colin says he doesn't know why he hit Guillermo, but he tells him that's what he gets for trying to step to him as he is dragged away by security. Laszlo helps Sean exercise, though Laszlo himself is not doing any of the exercising, even though he told Sean he wouldn't make him do anything that he wouldn't do. And then Nandor helps Charmaine because back in Alcantara, if a warrior fell, you'd help their spouse. He takes out the trash by tossing it at the curb and lightly rinsing the dishes, and he watches TV with her. Charmaine says she likes Nandor okay, but he's a little slow and thinks that's why the documentary crew is following him. Nandor confesses he has a crush on the guide to Charmaine. She tells him he should tell her how he feels. Sean pees his pants while weightlifting and has another heart attack at the gym. Bill Laszlo probably is pushing him too hard too soon, though.
Sean breaks it to Laszlo that he'll probably die young because his father died young and his grandfather died young, and that it's okay because it helps him enjoy life to the fullest. Laszlo sneaks him in a Jersey Mike's sub. Jordan calls Guillermo in for a meeting the next day because he's worried they'll be sued. Guillermo says he won't sue, and Jordan says Guillermo could be good at keeping secrets and gives him the nickname of the Vault. And then in the end credits, Nandor brings the guide a bouquet and wants to watch TV with her, but Jerry answers, and so Nandor bolts.
I thought it was funny that they did think that March Madness was some sort of illness. Probably what it does when you would hear that term and you weren't familiar with basketball or sports in general, you probably would think that, especially if you're as out of touch as the vampires are. Like, honestly, I don't keep up with sports myself, so I forgot that March Madness was even a basketball thing. I just knew who sports.
Yeah, it was like funny, just like how, because it's like men. I mean, I guess I can't just say men, but like people just go nuts over sports sometimes, and then that they thought that the way he was acting was because he was possessed. Because it's like the game is life or death or something. So the whole possession thing was kind of funny.
I was kind of sad he wasn't actually possessed.
I kind of hate to like shit on the show, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like Colin beating up Guillermo, it just didn't really make sense.
Yeah, it felt strange and out of character.
And then, I don't know, Naja's whole banana telephone thing wasn't funny.
It wasn't even so cringeworthy it was funny either. It was just like, that's not funny, Naja. Please knock it off.
And again, I'm not really sure this episode like moved the story arc of this season other than Guillermo is the vault at Colin Capital, even though he has been Jordan's right hand man for a while.
Yeah.
So now maybe he'll be in on some secrets, but other than that,
I guess if like Nandor had actually like successfully asked out the guide, maybe that could have counted towards it too, like story progression. But he didn't. He chickened out when he saw Jerry was there, and he kind of just thought that her and Jerry were a thing.
yeah, I'm not totally understanding it. We don't really have confirmation that her and Jerry are together. And then they pushed sort of Jerry to, I'm not sure if he moved in there. I don't totally understand that, but they kind of pushed him there. So, I mean, I'm not sure why he's surprised that Jerry was there.
Yeah.
Nandor was really sweet to try to keep Charmaine company. They were like watching
They were watching like Wipeout.
Wipeout, like stuff where people were falling
Yeah.
or getting hurt, and his helping around the house was kind of like his janitorial.
Pretty much.
His skills as a janitor were about the same as his skills as being a stand-in for Sean. Although who knows how well Sean helps around the house because
He probably actually was like it's at least slightly better than Sean.
I could see Sean, not wanting to watch the same shows as Charmaine.
Yeah.
So at least in that, like, she seemed to like that part of it because I know she was making faces at how he was washing the dishes and stuff.
Yes. That shit she probably had to do over again because he's just like, wait, I'm gonna throw the garbage at the curb.
Like Colin helping Guillermo find an office identity, like that had promise. I just don't
Yeah.
know how it turned into. Like I kind of understood him in a way, hitting him in the eye. the first time, although Guillermo did not get very aggressive with his kind of being a jerk about the HR guy interrupting
Yeah.
the meeting. But then when he just beat the crap out of Guillermo, when Guillermo was like, "Hey, we should be nice to Colin. We don't know what's going on in his life." That part.
I felt like that just came out of nowhere. That just could have been fun. I liked the idea of Colin helping out Guillermo because I don't feel like they do a lot of stuff together. So I was like, this could be an interesting pairing to follow.
I kind of figured Colin would somehow end up there because, like, offices are kind of his thing.
Yeah.
It did say he worked at like 137 offices previously. So, I mean, I could see him, kind of understanding what Guillermo meant by wanting an office identity, but I don't know why he wanted to wail on Guillermo.
Mm-mm. It's not like Guillermo's like mean to Colin in the house or anything either. So he's just suddenly like, this is an opportunity to like shoot up Guillermo. No.
I'm just like, how are they getting into the building when they don't actually work there? And then no one checks up on any of this stuff, especially like Naja. Like she's been there the longest because Nandor was there for a little bit. And how are they not like realizing that she doesn't work there? And his coworkers did like him, did like Guillermo giving the HR guy a hard time about interrupting the meeting at first.
Yeah, it seemed like their plan to make him the office hothead seemed like it was gonna go okay until Colin like punched him.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the vault thing is going to be a good thing. Again, I would like to see Guillermo not working there and not just kind of taking Jordan's crap.
Yeah.
I don't know that he could have sued the company anyway since Colin didn't actually work there.
Right.
He'll just do anything to try to make Jordan like him, even if it's like not to his benefit.
Yeah, he's just like too much of a people pleaser. He needs to like actually do something for himself. He wants to be liked so bad he'll do anything.
I'm not really sure what else to say. I guess they are majorly promoting Jersey Mike's subs because they said it at least twice in the episode. I've never had a Jersey Mike's sub. We do have one nearby now. Maybe we will try it for the show. We have to do it for the show.
I had a sub from somewhere that was not Subway, and I forget where it was from. It might have been.
There's Penn Station.
It could have been Penn Station. I'm not sure if I've had Jersey Mike's before either.
No, I've definitely not had Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. They look good. Was that the one is like Danny DeVito in the commercial?
The one with Danny DeVito in the commercial.
I'm sure it doesn't look like that when you get it. Like when
Probably not.
when the McDonald's hamburger and then you actually see it and you're like, oh.
Like, this is so much sadder of a burger than I thought it was going to be.
So what's the next episode? Something about a PI?
Yeah, I wrote it down. It's PI Undercover, New York. Wondering which of them is going to attempt to have some sort of private eye gig. That could be interesting. It could also be that there's like a PI that's spying on them, which could also be fun.
Except they'll probably have to kill him. Or
Yeah.
or they could just hypnotize him or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who I could see like maybe Colin pulling off being a PI.
At least like he'd be the one who'd pull it off competently.
Yes. I don't really see Nandor trying to do it unless he's just like spying on like the guide and Jerry, possibly.
Yeah.
But I could also see kind of like Laszlo and Naja maybe doing it, but I don't know what they would be investigating.
Yeah.
So that's the part where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely enjoyed being nosy about the neighbors in the previous episode with the Airbnb.
Yeah, so maybe Nandor and Naja, maybe they even look more into that.
Yeah. Well, that could definitely be fun to see how they would go about that and be weird about it, I guess.
They want it as a job for something to do. I don't know. A lot of times PIs, it's either like looking for a missing person or like, is my wife cheating on me?
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure what they would be investigating. So without without that piece of information, I don't know what else to suppose about. I'm just not sure what to think about what will happen like in the next couple episodes for them to wrap up like this whole thing to be like the last four
Yeah.
episodes. And like I think Nandor could be cute in love. I'm just not sure if the guide is actually into him or not. And like I just wish he would like just go for it and let her say yes or no.
Yeah.
And then, like, what else? I thought maybe they would make more monsters or work on more monsters. They kind of like act like they are, but they don't really show any other monsters.
Indeed.
And then, as far as canon,
Yeah,
I don't know. The place just, again, is just not like positive. I don't think it's positive for Guillermo. And then they're just like buying up companies so they can wreck them or whatever. So,
yeah, I just want to know, like, what is the end goal for that storyline?
I know Naja's having a good time just kind of like pretending to have a job, but like I think Guillermo takes it pretty seriously, so
Yes, yeah.
I want something positive for him. I
Yeah.
know I've said that before, but it's just not really going in that direction so far.
Yeah, he was shit on all the time by the vampires, and now he's just being shit on by Jordan. It's like he should have a cool Guillermo thing all his own.
And I think he's like he should be making more money at this place, but he's still in that garden shed.
Yeah, the vampires would have had to paid him something because he bought groceries and weird things that they wanted. Like in the first episode, I think it was Nandor wanted the crepe paper because he thought it was called creepy paper.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like they would have been very cheap. They probably offered him a place to stay. And because, I mean, when Nandor went missing, they were just offering like $5. I don't know what they ever say, like what they were paying him, but I feel like it wouldn't be much, but that
Yeah.
he would have a bed. And I mean, sometimes that means a lot if you need to get out of a certain situation, but
Yeah. Whatever they were paying him, it was not enough for putting up with their bullshit.
yeah, and he's like ended up being like a really good fighter and stuff.
Yeah.
So they should have given him a bit more respect.
Like, you kick all their asses. They've seen him deal with other vampires. Like, come on. Saved their bacon on so many occasions. Damn it.
Yeah. I do like that Laszlo is very loyal to Sean because I don't know. For me, Laszlo doesn't have a lot of wonderful features to him, but
Yeah.
but that part is kind of nice. Like they literally like flew over there
Yeah.
because they thought he was in trouble. Maybe he'll turn Sean into a vampire
Yeah, I was wondering
when
about that
when the time
actually.
comes since he likes him so much.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he would make a good vampire or he would be able to keep it a secret, especially with his brain being kind of addled.
Yeah. They've wrecked him pretty good with their constant hypnosis, so I don't know. All right. Thank you all so much for checking out the podcast. If you have enjoyed the show and you haven't already, it would be super cool if you could subscribe and leave us a review. Or I guess on Spotify, you can leave comments on individual episodes. That would be good too. You know, if you're watching this on YouTube, you might be able to leave comments anyways. And, subscribe there, leave a like there.
Maybe our call to action could be, do you ship Nandor with the guide or do you not like that ship?
How do we feel about this game?
Leave us some comments about that.
Yeah.
Share with your friends if you like the show, and also we have another podcast, Mojo Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, about Jojo's Bizarre Adventure and the original Powerpuff Girls series, so check those episodes out also.
Yeah, we have like a lot more of those, so that's definitely something that you could like binge listen to, especially if you're a fan of either show. Right now, we're talking about the second season of the Powerpuff Girls. We're talking about the first season of that and the first two parts of JoJo, which are technically one season.
And we just started podcasting this year, so we really need the engagement so that we can keep doing this and that the podcast will be shown to other people.
Yeah.
So, like, leaving us a review would really help that.
And you might have already said share with a friend, but if you know someone who's into a lot of vampire media, or they enjoy like a silly like mockumentary type show, they might enjoy listening to this podcast. Maybe yeah, and with the other one, maybe they're a fan of one or the other, but they haven't checked out both. Lots of podcasts by us. Well, just the two podcasts, but lots of hours of podcasts that you could be listening to by us.
Also, our episodes are fairly short. They're like chock full of information, and we kind of don't sit and like chit chat about other things before you get into the content. Like we kind of get straight to the point. So if you're
Yeah.
wanting something like that where you're like let's get to what I came here to listen to, that's definitely us.
Yeah. Usually the only thing we talk about before we start getting into the show is like if there's any news related to it. And a lot of times there isn't. Until next time, remember, you're dead and out of this world. Goodbye.
Goodbye.